All right. Get my screen shared out. All right. Hopefully everybody can see my screen here.
Looks good.
All right. You go ahead and start. Welcome to the little band meeting here, parent meeting we have this set up. I just want to do an introduction of myself. I'm Alan Stukenholtz, president of Star Cybersecurity, along with Carla. She's sitting here beside me. We've been doing this for a year, so this is our second year. We've actually been band parents. We've been doing this for 6 years. 6 years. So we've been band parent presidents for 1 year. So this is our second year as the band parent president. This is not a replacement for the parent meeting in the high school auditorium on Tuesday, August 22nd at 6 p.m. So put that on your calendar. Don't forget to go. The agenda, we're going to be working with communicating through the band app, setting up the band app preferences and notifications, where to find the volunteer signups, and then we're going to be talking about Blitz concessions, and then some of the parent volunteer leader time responsibilities. And then at the end, I've got a few FAQs that I put together, and then we're going to do a short Q&A after. Working with the band app. So we've tried a lot of different methods. We've got the band app. The band app is great, I think, because we've got you've got social media board, you've got chat, you've got calendar, you've got all these things on the band app, and that's the main way I'd like to communicate. I prefer that over trying to find everybody's text message and text message everyone. If you've got your notifications set up properly, it'll come in on your phone just like a text message will. This QR code, if you don't have it yet, this QR code will pop you right into the PSWKS parents. And so that's another band, another part of band that's separate from the kids band. It's just for the parents, so that, you know, everybody has both, and that's fine. But this one is just for the parents to have communication on. And you can get that two ways, on the computer and on your mobile device. Mobile device is the only way you're going to set up some of the notifications. So how we use it, we have a message board on there for posts and photos and videos. The parents will post videos and photos, the kids. You can do that all you want. It's a social media platform, so we'd love for you to be involved and do that. The band concession calendar and the band calendar are both synced to this band app. So when they post stuff on the band calendar, it will sync over to this as well. So we got that, and then we've got an additional calendar that includes the concessions, and that's all synced through Google Calendar. There's also an attachments area, so we can share attachments if we want to share instructions or whatever. Any kind of document, you can add those up there. And then, of course, there's some chat rooms where you can set up private chat rooms or public chat rooms. If you've got, if you know you're going to be working concessions with a couple people, we might set up a chat room and we'll just have that so that not everybody is involved in all the concession talk for that one night. It's just like social media. It's very familiar to most people. Get to that, to do a new post, you just go to the post part of it. On the left is the windows. On the right is a snapshot from my phone. So you just hit post there and you can post on there. It's pretty simple, just like Facebook or Instagram or whatever.
But if you have questions, you can always ask your kid.
Yeah. The calendar is on the left is the computer. It's up the top under events, and then you've got your little calendar icon on the mobile on the right here. You click on that, shows everything in order, shows the calendar. You can click on it. I believe the blue is I think the blue is the band and the green is the concessions. And then to get to attachments, you just up the top, you've got attachments on the computer, and then you've got the little folder icon on the mobile, and you can, like I said, we'll post some stuff in here, and you can pull those up and read them. So if I say, hey, I've uploaded a document or whatever, there might, go over there and you should be able to find it. And then as far as the chat rooms, there's a little chat icon at the very top on the computer, and then down on the bottom left on the Band app. As far as important stuff, we're going to try and post that usually on the very top, and I'll say important. You can go in if there's more than one thing. There'll be a little deal off the side, and you can go in, and there'll be several. There might be several. I don't plan to do that a whole lot because of the way we're doing the signups this year. But there could be more than one important post at the top. So just pay attention at the very top of your Band app when you open it up. If there's something there, then you might want to click on that. A lot of people don't communicate on the Band app, and I don't know if they haven't set up notifications or preferences. So I just wanted to go over that real quick and show everybody how to do that. On the computer, you just go up to your icon that has your picture or whatever you've got up there in the top right, hit settings. And then you can the only thing you can do on the computer is set email notifications. So if you're like, I don't want to use, I just want all the stuff to come in my email, that's fine. You can do that on the computer and just set those email notifications. And then every time there's a new post, it's going to pop into your email. And then the Band app has a video on how to manage the notifications for your mobile device. And they've already done that, so I'm just gonna let them tell you how to do that. Here we go. All right, so I had this part of the presentation I wanted to just show you on my computer. Right up here in the band app, there's some notifications, and this will pop up. I do this on my computer a lot, but a lot of people just use their mobile. But you've got your notifications, and I believe you can do that on the computer too. But if you want to learn more about how to set some of that stuff up, they do have a pretty good guide here. And that's kind of where I pulled up all the videos under what was it? Help. And so they've got a lot of videos and things. So if there's anything, or like Carla says, ask your kids. Oops. Where to find the volunteer signups? I kind of went over the important stuff on the band app, but right now I've got it in the important area on the band app. So when you click on that link, right up here at the top, you're going to be able to get access to the Sign Up Genius, which has pretty much everything on there. I might be missing some things. As far as the concessions, they're all on there for now. But I've added some stuff like for the marching competitions and stuff that Mr. Miller asked me to put in there. So I've got a lot of that stuff in there. So I plan to just leave that up there in important notices and have this access the whole time. So if you've, signed up for something and you kind of forgot, you can go back and look and see, okay, what did I sign up for? And you can find it in there. I'll also leave this up on the screen for just a little bit. You can scan this on your phone and it'll go straight to the Sign Up Genius. So if you can, bookmark that on your phone or put it on your home page of your phone or whatever you want to do, you just scan that and it'll take you right to it. Next thing I want to talk about is the Blitz concessions. So what the heck is it? Well, it's a concessions point of sale. So for everything we're doing down in concessions now, we're going to go through Blitz and make all the sales through Blitz. It's also an inventory system for the concession. So it's helping us keep a better inventory of everything we have. It's also going to allow for online ordering, mobile ordering, and pre-orders. We can actually set up a pre-order. I don't know if we want to do barbecue sandwiches or something for one of the games. We could set up a pre-order and say, hey, we've opened a pre-order on Tuesday, and you can pre-order your barbecue sandwich and pick it up at the game on Friday night. We haven't figured out how we would set any of that up yet, but that's something we can do. And then the main thing is it allows us to accept credit cards. One thing that a lot of people don't want to work the front because they're like, oh, I can't do all these calculations in my head. I'm afraid to mess with money. One thing that's really nice about Blitz and using the POS system is now, they say I need 2 popcorns and 5 waters and 1 power, and you put all this into the system. It'll tell you exactly how much it costs. They give you the money. You can put that money in, and it'll tell you exactly how much change to give back too. So I know some people just, it gets crazy down the concession stand sometimes. And even if you're really good at doing stuff in your head, sometimes you just lose it. And it's nice to have something that you can look at and go, okay, yeah, that's right. A double check for anything else. Inventory, it's going to take inventory on every single item. It's going to help us. A lot of times throughout the past, we've had just these big unknowns. We don't know how much we really sold, how much we threw away, how much how much we really need. So it's really going to help us line that up. So with our ordering and our sales, and so we don't have a lot of waste and lose a lot of money just throwing things away at the end of the year. Parent leadership, volunteers, leaders, time and responsibilities. Concession stands, main responsibilities are when we have like a middle school game and it's just one parent. When you see these signups for one parent, it's mainly going to be managing and monitoring the kids, making sure they're doing the money right and working with all the stuff. I mean, you got to have a parent there. You can't just let the kids go crazy. So, I mean, you're mainly there to monitor the kids and help. So it's not hard, and we're going to get set up a lot of how-tos this year, so we can, hopefully parents will feel comfortable about just going down there and going to town. A lot of the kids have worked the concession stand, so a lot of it's not that big a deal. They just take off. There are several nights that we'll have to work all parents on middle school games or soccer games because the kids are already practicing that night and there's no way they can come help. So football games, for sure, we have to have a lot of parent help. Sign up, show up. That's, if you sign up, please show up. Set your calendar, set your alarm, do whatever you have to do to remind yourself that, hey, I'm working tonight. If we're short one person on a Friday night, it may not be that big a deal. A Friday night football game where there's 40 parents helping, but if you're the only one signed up for a middle school football game and the kids are all hanging outside the concession stand waiting on you and you never show up, then one of the parent leaders have to go take over and work. So try to be very vigilant about putting stuff on your phone so you remember. Helping get other parents involved. There's a lot of parents that they say, well, I would help, but nobody ever asked me, and well, we're asking all the time. I mean, we're asking all the time for help, but some people you just have to make a call and say, hey, will you help? And they'll be like, yeah, I'll help. Great. So who some of those people are. If you know them, make some calls and help us get some people involved. And the other thing is, if you can become a parent leader, we need some leaders. We need people that are willing to help out, step in, especially when everybody else is saying they're too busy. We'd love to have enough parent leaders that we can, not have to worry about it. Volunteer positions right now. Carla and I are the current band presidents. I know some parent leaders have told me that they're returning. I got those on the list. We are going to need some people that know Blitz, and so I'm hoping to get some Blitz admins, people that can do that. That is one of the things that if somebody doesn't want to go to a concession stand and they just want to help out with moving inventory or moving concessions or starting a stand, that's one thing that we could have where you could help out and not actually go physically help out. Later on, you're going to need some bus chaperones. We're going to need to feed the kids for various activities. They always need people to drive the truck and trailer and the box truck. So those are just some positions that are available. Um, Circus, we're considering trying to set somebody up as a coordinator for that. Carl and I spent the entire weekend at the circus this last year, and that was pretty rough. We need some help with that. So we'll probably be talking about that later. I set up some FAQs that I thought of. Why do we need parent volunteers? Mostly to help with concessions. Concession sales alone are thousands of dollars to the band every year. A lot of high school programs that have this kind of a program. I mean, we have a really good program, and a lot of the high schools that have this kind of program, it's $300 to $600 for the kids to fork out every year just to be in the program, and even more. I mean, I've seen some more, especially in the eastern schools. So, of course, we need drivers and equipment, parents, and I reiterate that. A little redundant, but we do need those. That's always a last minute thing. They're like, we need this, and we need it tomorrow. So, trying to hopefully get some people to sign up ahead of time for that. Who can volunteer? Yeah, we're not really picky. I mean, everybody can volunteer. We like to have mostly adults. There have been some younger children that have come in with the adults and helped at concession stands, and some of them are really, really good, and I would love to have them every single time. And some kids are very squirrely, yes. So what your kids are like, and if you think they can handle it, they're they need to be old enough to be able to run around, and we say, hey, they need a Coke or whatever, and they can grab it out. That's great. Older siblings still hanging around, haven't left Dodge yet. That's great too. Anybody that wants to help will. Grandparents. Yeah. So, how much time does it take? Well, that really depends. So, normal concession stand on a Friday night. If you're a grill or wrapper, you might come in at 4:00 and you get to leave at 6, and you're done. Or you can stay and watch the game, or you at that point you get in for free. So you stay and watch the game. If you do both, you could be there for about 6 hours. So if you do the concession stand and grill and wrap, if you just do the concession stand, it's about 4 hours. Middle school games are a couple hours. And it's all depends on how many you do. If you do one a year, great. If we can have 100 people do one concession stand, then we wouldn't have to worry about anything. That'd be great. I mean, you 2 hours, 4 hours out of your life, and you're done. That'd be great. Parent leaders are going to take a little bit more time. Obviously, filling in the gaps. If we can't find anybody, we have to have parent leaders do the concession stands. In the past, parent leaders have basically done all the concession stands, and really, I said this last year, and I'd really like to try and move the needle on this year. Is I really would like the parent leaders to be the organizers and get things going and get people signed up to work, not have to have the parent leaders do all the work. But unfortunately, sometimes that's how it is. So the more parent leaders we have, the better. I've had people say, my kid works at concession stand, so I don't need to work. Well, no, not really. The band kids are required to do it for grades. So just because they're doing it doesn't mean we don't need those parents. There's not any parents out there whose kids aren't working the concession stand. So, the moral of the story is we gotta have parents to fill in all the gaps. And what happens if parents don't volunteer? Well, if the band can't do the concessions and we can't do this and cover all the concessions, they're just going to give it to some other organization. And I don't even I don't even want that to happen at all because, like I said, it's thousands and thousands of dollars that it brings into the band every year. All right. I think that's all I had for my slides. I almost made that 30 minutes, but I got some time for Q&A. If you guys have any questions, you can pop on your mics and fire away. Oh, Ray's got some questions. He was asking some earlier. Could ask him on the recording.
Remind me what they were.
Does anybody have any? Does anybody have any questions about? I think you were asking about. You had some questions about Blitz, but I can't remember what they were now.
Well, you went over it, so I mean, most of what I was asking you covered. So
Do
I
we?
know
Carla, can you hear me? Or
Yep.
Krista?
I can hear
Okay,
Paula.
Okay, so I know a few of the Hispanic parents have said around me like, well, I don't speak English, so I don't feel comfortable. So maybe since it's being recorded, you can go a little bit more on that, they don't really need to speak or be fluent in English, and, they could be a runner, and there's usually myself or, a couple other Hispanics who could translate if they needed it.
Well, and it's hard, right? Because I don't know how to say this to everybody, and maybe we can go over it in the Hispanic parent meeting. But there's definitely things that you can do and not speak a lick of English. I mean, we had several people come wrapping burgers and hot dogs. That doesn't take any kind of communication. That's any major communication. If you know the difference between a Coke and a Sprite, you can sit at the cooler and hand out Cokes and Sprites. Especially the I wish I could put a bilingual person at every single window, because I know when the kids are working, I know sometimes I hear them,
translating.
yeah, or just totally speaking Spanish and it's nice. So there's other times when maybe we don't have anybody that can speak Spanish in the concession stand. It'd be nice to have somebody that can, translate some of that stuff. But there's definitely a lot of jobs that can be done. And like I said, all they really need to, if they can understand, if they can understand a few things like, Coke, Diet Coke, hamburger, nachos, whatever. There's lots of those for sure.
Yeah. I agree.
hey, Alan, I don't know that this is the right meeting. We might want to, have another follow up, but we have events starting to happen, and I know in the past we've kind of tried to split that up into 2 or 3 different coordinating teams to kind of get things lined up for the kids. What is our thoughts on that for this fall?
Yeah, I think we need to figure out how many parent leaders we're gonna for sure have this year, and I'm hoping to get, that sign up maybe this week at the parent meeting. So, and then we can kind of go from there. But yeah, I think I mean that I don't know, teams work out. Carl and I would for sure like to be doing less concession stand working, and because it's so much. I mean, it's so much other work. I mean, Jeremy and I were there for 2 hours this morning, and then Carla came in after Jeremy left, and Carla and I spent till about 12:30 working in the concession stand this morning, just getting product put up on the shelves and and cleaning up and that stuff. And we do so much of that. We have to do so much of that stuff, and it's really hard then to go back and be like, oh yeah, I gotta work the concession stand too. So obviously in our minds, we'd like to have the parent leaders taking the rails on that. But I would like to see quite a few more parent leaders, hopefully. We'll probably have a parent leader meeting once we do that. Maybe a little short. Try to keep it short. Any other questions? Anything we didn't go over tonight that we need to go over that you feel like we need to go over on Tuesday? Everybody's silent. All right, guys. Well, I wanted to keep this short, so I'm going to go ahead and I guess call it for the evening. I'll post this recording out on the band app and let everybody watch it, and then I guess I'll see everybody Tuesday.
Sounds good.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Alan.
Yep.